live stream to celebrate my 4,861st subscriber. That's right. Now, in actuality, I'm pretty tired, but I really have to get a workout in. So maybe this is going to motivate me a little, who knows. Nothing gets the blood flowing like a random live stream. It's not random. It's my 4,861st subscriber live stream. That's a celebration worth celebrating. Good. Let's see, I don't even know what I really want to work on. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Is this better? No. Maybe. I'll leave it on. Okay. Oops. Maybe we'll do a few sets with a little bit more weight. Right. Boom. All right. Hey bro, what's the temperature out there? In here, like in the house? I know it's a little bit chilly here. It's always a little bit chilly in this specific room. I don't know, I think it's like 18, 19 degrees Celsius, of course. No idea about Fahrenheit. What? You're alive? Yeah, apparently so. Sure looks like it. Okay, this way is fine. I'll do a few sets with this. 2 more sets with 70. Then 1 finisher set with 50. Yeah, that's fine. Cold is good. Depends. It's good for reducing inflammation and blood flow. And in that sense, it can help with pain. Should be doing that right now. Working out. Or cold therapy. Where do you live? In the Netherlands? Sure looks like it, but it's today's technological possibilities. Who knows? You might be like all the dead voters in the US election. Oh yeah, that's a thing. Cold therapy is actually pretty bad for muscle growth. You could actually because it like suppresses the inflammation required for muscle growth. It actually works really good for muscle growth is warm therapy, because a lot of proteins required for growth specifically respond to the heat. Miljar just killed and eat some dude's face and faked his own dad and run to Siberia. Did he now? Whatever happened to Miljar? Or is that real news? Yeah, both. Boston. Okay, makes sense. I have enough metal growth. I'm 62 years old, so doing more reps with less weight nowadays. That works. That's pretty effective for growth. High repetitions. I do it all the time. 6 thumbs up. I'm only seeing 5 thumbs up because it's slow to load. Alright, my set. That would be, let's see, 46 reps in 3 sets. It's not bad. Been training with low weights this entire time. Let's see. I always imagined that Severia would be the first person to eat someone's face, not Miljar. And then like flee the country. Oh, Severia actually did that. He fled, what was it, Romania? I don't know. You have a lot of subscribers, I'm one. Thanks for being a subscriber. We need to get a lot more subscribers though. Way more. I'm having a good feeling about next year. Let's see. A sip of water. Yeah. the live stream should be relaxing and motivating. Okay, 3 viewers. I'll share this. Awesome. Good. Nice. Recovering from an injury. The only injury I've got lifting weights. Really? This is your only injury you've ever gotten in your 62 years of living? That's quite lucky, man. 300 pounds, bench drop on my chest. Oh man. Yeah, that's not good. I haven't like broke a rib or something. These are such great power twisters. They're like 10 kilos in resistance. You just cannot get your hands on one of these. It's a real shame, because these are just great. Working out at home is the most fun. Well, it's not necessarily the most fun, but I don't know. I got everything here. There's no real reason for me to work out anywhere else. And again, I do like to go to the calisthenics park when it's summer. I'm in Marine. Oh yeah, man. You know, then you're then you're trained for that kind of stuff. Loosened the sternum. Same thing happened to my father. Also because barbell dropped on his chest. Exact same thing. Yeah, typically it is something that heals just fine. Still not a fun injury to get though. But what injury is, you know, any injury is not fun. You're the best. Thanks for the support. Okay. Let's see. Alright, let's do this. School, what do you call that? Call what? This thing? This is a power twister. Got a few videos on it. Ladies in the gym. Yeah, you know, that's one that's one positive about going to the gym. I do agree with that. Scout Sniper, graduate Scout Sniper school, my 20th birthday. Brother. Our bench dips bad for the sternum. Bench dips. Bench dips. Bench dips bad for the sternum. What's that? Alright, man. Have a nice day. What are bench dips? Is that like an exercise? Is it an exercise or is it a like a tool or something? Let me just we're gonna research what bench dips are. It's probably something really simple. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if it was a variant of the dip. I doubt that it's bad for the sternum. I don't really understand why. I do know that it can be harmful for your shoulders, though. You can get a forced overextension from your front deltoids. That's something that they commonly warn against with this exercise. So that is something that I would watch out for. But I do know that if you keep the position of your body correct, then it's a pretty safe exercise. Right, using bench to do dips. I got no money, else I'd have sent you a super chat saying this, all the money I got. That's cool, man. No worries. I'm getting by. All right. One more set of this. Yeah, you know, it's a good exercise. But yeah, as really with every exercise, just be careful with it. Can't really see how it would be bad for the sternum. But who knows, maybe I'm missing something. Is that like a common concern with that exercise? I tried doing them and to this date I'm suffering from it. Let's see. Let me just do the exercise real quick. Can't really imagine it being problematic for your sternum. What kg power twister? This one? This one is... Yeah, I doubt it's heavier than 10 kilos. It's very light. But this is really the one that I use for finisher sets. Yeah, maybe my form was incorrect. I think Adley and X probably has a very good video to help you with that. It's not an exercise that I typically do. I have used it in, yeah, really in the beginning when I started working out, and I don't recall ever getting a problem with it. I don't really think that it is a common problem with that exercise. Supervision is important in the beginning, for sure. There is a 100 kilogram power twister I see on YouTube. There even exists a 150 kilo power twister. And I actually have made a video on how heavy a power twister should be, or how heavy the power twister should be that you're getting for yourself. And in that video I have shared a clip from another YouTuber who let Haftor, world's strongest man, use his 110 kilogram power twister, and he had a hard time bending that one. So I don't know why they make 150 kilogram ones, if even the strongest man on earth has a problem with bending a 110 kilo one. But you know, it depends on where you're training for. Right. Neato. Yeah, sort of it. Those really heavy power twisters, they're fun if you are very interested in developing strength. If you're interested in bending steel bars, things like that. But other than that, it's not ideal. And you see that the people on YouTube who use those really heavy power twisters, they really use them with a whole nother goal in mind. But I guess it is a real achievement if you can close a 100 kilo power twister. It's not for me, at least not for now. Are you trying out for Wolverine audition? Maybe in like a year or 10? Would be pretty cool, right? Actually, the guy who plays Wolverine isn't that tall. I'm like, I figured out that I am 5'9". I always thought I was 5'8", but now I'm 5'9" apparently. So maybe I could actually fill the role, who knows? Let's see. Yeah, I think I got enough work done on my chest. Lower back, mid back. Let's see, what am I going to train? Let's do a bulwark exercise. Looking huge and pumped. I know, right? I'm really happy because this is like the results from training for 3 weeks. First time in 5 months. It's going really fast. Really happy to see this. You look taller than 5'9". Yeah, you know, weird thing is like I get that in real life as well. So who knows, maybe I'm actually taller than 5'9". But I doubt it. I didn't even know I was taller than 5'8", so yeah, how should I doubt that I've miscalculated by much more than an inch. That would be really weird. How often did you bulwark? Like since the beginning? Do you want an exact number of workouts that I've done with the bulwarker since I started at the age of 7? Is that what you're asking me? Or like, do you want to have like a percentage? How much the bulwarker makes up of my routines? Because I would say that it kind of differs. When I initially got this one, I did use it quite a bit, but it wasn't until I got these newer ones where you can take out the springs and you can adjust the resistance that I really start to use it a lot more. So I would say that if I were to give a number, and really I cannot give an exact number, but I would say that when I had this one, I was using the Bullworker for, let's say, 20-30% of my workouts, and since I've gotten this one, it's more like for some workouts, it's like 60% of my workout. So, overall, yeah. I would say 40% of my workouts consist of Bullworker. Have you seen that Nova Gym? Any thoughts on it? Yeah, it's a Kickstarter project, right? Yeah, I've seen it. Looks interesting. Looks kind of like an how should I put it? A combination of a power twister and chest expander all in one. Probably can even do, yeah, it definitely can do a few things that the Bullworker can do. And I assume that it's made from high quality, but other than that, I have no opinion on it. I would have to try it. And actually, I'm gonna take off my shirt because I am becoming kind of sweaty. Who knows, maybe I will get more views that way. We will see. How could Mike Tyson build his body from high volume bodyweight exercises? Because he says that. Well, for one, I do believe that high volume work is very effective for building muscle, as long as you do it in if you still keep it challenging and you still burn up your muscles. As long as you manage to do that, I think you will see growth. In a sense, it is pretty, it has a huge benefit in that it can lengthen the time and retention. I will also say that if you look at Mike Tyson and you look at how he was built at age 12, there is something either really weird about his genetics, or the guy was taking steroids from a very young age. And the second one is kind of, it is quite a possibility, because he grew up in a really rough neighborhood, from what I understand. Bummed all over. Hell yeah. What's your age now? I'm nearing the age of 26. What's more fun to use, Bullworker or Isoflow? Definitely the Bullworker, just because you can also check out how much strength you're using for your exercises. Like you can actually track your progress with a bull worker. The biggest benefit of the ISO bow is, you know, it's more portable than a bull worker than a steel bow, and you can do a bit more with it than, well, actually you can do a lot more with it than an ISO bow. You can actually do the same things with an isoflow as what you can do with in many regards, what you can do with dumbbells. Only difference is that you cannot track the amount of resistance that you're using, which is a downside. But again, the upside is it's very portable. It takes in very little space. So you know, if you want to have a home gym, you want to do the same things that you can do with dumbbells, but you don't have room for dumbbells, you know, then the isoflow is ideal. Let's see, have I missed any questions? Doesn't look like it. How many different bow workers do you have? I have the bow classic, the steel bow, and the vintage one, so that would be 3. So the vintage one, let me show you. The vintage one, this is a really old one, right? This one only has 1 resistance. I think it's 100 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is quite a lot. Like compare it with like compressing or curling 100 pounds with 1 arm, right? It is pretty heavy. So this one, the newer one, you can actually take out, wait, hold up, hey. You can take out the spring, right? You have different springs, and yeah, that's the big benefit of this one, which is a huge benefit, by the way. And then you have the steel bow, which is just a smaller version of the one that I just showed. Yeah. So yeah, they are all different. The smaller one is, in my opinion, better for example, the chest. It's better for the biceps. Actually, I think that it is very effective for many muscle groups, but it works in a different way, which is something that I will have to go in depth about in a specific video. So is it right to say that bodyweight workouts can replace weights if done in high volumes and reps? I wouldn't go that far, but high volume work is very effective for pumping up the muscle. It definitely grows the muscles, but the limits that can be obtained with bodyweight exercise by itself, I'm not sure. It kind of depends also, like, you know, you can make bodyweight exercise very challenging if you want, right? You can do like pull-ups. Like pull-ups aren't light, like most people, if they can do 3 sets of 12 pull-ups, that stuff is really challenging. Dips are also bodyweight exercise, so like in that sense, you know, you can grow for a very long time with just bodyweight exercise if you do it correctly. And you can find many ways to make body weight exercises challenging for a very long time. You know, there are YouTubers who have built up uh, their bodies through calisthenics and just body weight exercise, and they have very impressive physique. Some guys are bigger than I am. I'm short. I think I prefer the steel bow. How short are you exactly? Because I'm not entirely convinced that body height itself is going to determine a lot in what sense which bull worker is best for you. 5'3". Yeah, that's not like, you know, sure, that's short, but it's not that short. I mean, look, right, I'm 5'9", and there's quite a bit of range of motion for me, right? How should I really put it? You have more than enough range of motion to work with, even if you are shorter. But, you know, perhaps you would find the steel bow more fitting. I don't know. I can only speak as someone who's 5'9", so I don't know what's the deal for someone who's 5'3". Where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands. You can see what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is taking this, pulling outwards, pressing downwards like this. Oh, really strong back contraction. Well, Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, but that's not where I'm from. Let's see. Yeah. I think I'm gonna train the lats. Yeah, let's do that. But if anyone ever visits the Netherlands, really the only interesting place to go would definitely be Amsterdam. The rest of the Netherlands is kind of boring by comparison. Well, with exception to now, because now you have this whole Corona thing going. So now Amsterdam is pretty boring as well. So yeah, I've been streaming now for 45 minutes. I've been thinking about going for 2 hours. Not just to smoke weed. It is a pretty interesting city by itself. A lot of musea, a lot of tourist attractions. Just a pretty interesting city by itself. Even if you skip the weed, like really, like the last 2 times I've been to Amsterdam, I've barely touched weed at all. Ooh. How much do you weigh? Currently, in kilos, close to 74, and in pounds that would be, what is it actually, like 163 pounds, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. You've skilled an impressive physique, man. I'll work hard towards achieving your kind of body. Awesome, man. Go for it. Took me, I really started training since the age of 16. So like nearly 10 years, but I have not been training like non-stop. I have had plenty of times that I had no ability to train. So I would say like in total, and this is like with serious training, took me, I think about 7 years, 7, 8 years, probably close to 8 years. Favorite muscle group. Favorite muscle group. Like, yeah, in what sense? Like, favorite to train? Probably the chest. I have most fun training the chest. Like, the most important muscle on a all this fizzy water. Like most fun, like most important muscle on a physique, I would definitely say the back. Nothing is more important than a big back. I can probably not properly flex it right now, but yeah, in that way, it's most important to train your back and technically your legs. Ooh, 8 years, great. Good luck. See you in 8 years. And it also, of course, depends on, you know, your body structure. Like I have a very thin build. Someone who has like a bigger, like has heavier bones, will fill out differently than me. Or someone who's taller or shorter than me will fill out differently. So, you know, depends on a lot of things. Favorite pose? And I have to light this. Ah, that's worse. But yeah, that's my favorite pose. Do you ever do boxing training? I have done Muay Thai for like 6 months. And I have done some other martial arts, but I cannot really take that serious when you compare it with kickboxing. Like when you do something like Wing Chun or something, or judo, if you're gonna compare that to Muay Thai, then yeah, I would say that the only real martial art I've ever done, and I've only done that for 6 months, is Muay Thai. But like by myself, I have done boxing training. I don't know how many of you know this, but I do have a sandbag in the backyard. You can also just call it the boxing bag. It's technically not filled with sand, it's filled with cloth. But it weighs about, 110 pounds. Can you do a sandbag video? I wonder if I don't know. I don't think I've ever done a sandbag video. I could probably do it. But not now, it's pretty cold. I guess I could still technically do it. But really right now, like, I haven't boxed it. I've not boxed in quite some time, so I would really have to get back into it. What would be the best bicep exercise with the bull worker? If we're gonna talk purely about isolation, then the best one would be this. You can also do it with both arms, like this. That would be the best bull worker exercise for isolation. If I'm just going to say, like, generally, what I feel is the best exercise, which includes the biceps, I would say it's just chest compressions. I know that's probably a weird choice, but I feel that is quite effective for targeting the muscle. And actually, like, if you do that, if you do chest compressions and you also combine it with the cable spread, and typically you will find that if you take measurements before and after the workout, your arms will still be pumped up by like half an inch. So in that regard, it's not quite as effective as working with free weights per se, or like with resistance bands or cable machines, but it is quite effective. And I feel that it just it hits the bicep differently, you know? It's a different movement than just curling. So it's quite a unique exercise as well. Come on. No. Bull work should pay you. They pay me, but they don't really pay me that much. Like, what they pay me is for each bull worker that is being sold on my name, I get 10% commission on each device that is being sold, and I don't know why. Like there have been times that I was making a few $100s from Bullworker, let's say like each month. Like not a lot, like definitely not something you can like live on, but yeah. Like in the best months, I would get a few $100s from Bullworker a month, and meant that if, like I don't know, like 20, 30 models a month would be sold on my name, and then in other months I have not received anything. But that's what the Mac 10 code is for. Like if people use that, then I get some, I get some commission. I sell pet rocks. I have a pet rock store. Let's see. Done. Big fan from India. Awesome. Almost at 1 hour. 1 more hour to go. Plenty of muscles to train. And what am I going to train? Definitely the traps. It's a trap. Have you seen or used the X5 Bullworker? That's the official one from Cowbell, right? That's the model that they're selling. Well, currently they're not selling it, but that's the model that they were selling. Yeah, no, I have no experience with it. I also know very little about it. I know that you cannot change the resistance, so that is already, for me, a reason to say that the Bullworker Unlimited models, the American ones, are probably superior. I have Bullworker too, sir. It was pretty effective if we use correctly. Yeah, absolutely. Like the biggest thing is that you have to use it correctly. If you don't use it correctly, then yeah, you know, everyone can pick up a Bullworker and just clown around with it. Everyone can do that, right? Everyone can do reps like this, or yeah, not count reps at all. Like, well, you know, it's not necessary to count reps, but you can either play around with the Bullworker or you can work out with it seriously, and whatever you do with it, it's going to make a big difference in your results. Yeah. Guess I'm gonna train my traps. Let's see, how much battery do I have? Plenty. Good. Okay, please make videos on resistance band if possible. I could, but I'm not sure how much demand would be for videos on resistance bands. It's just that a lot of people already do them. But I could do it. There is something else that I want to review. Well, not really review, but like, yeah, I guess it's kind of a review. Something that I want to talk about first. I guess I can show you guys. It's for training the forearms, mostly. It's also being used for people who get tennis elbow, and since that is kind of a common problem with the bulwark when it's used incorrectly, this might be an interesting thing to talk about. The TerraBand Flex Bar is what it is called. There are a few videos on it. It's a really cheap way to train your wrist flexors. What is it, like, this is the wrist flexor and this is the wrist extensor or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that's what it is. Probably like one of the best things you can use if you want to get stronger wrists and bigger forearms. Now I will say that if you use a bulwarker, you don't necessarily need anything to grow your forearms. Are you vegan? Yes, I am. For longer than 5 years now. Better to do 60-minute walk 3 times a week or 20 minutes a day. For what goal? It's kind of like, what would be the goal? I think walking in general is very beneficial. You can probably overdo it, but you know, if you walk 20 minutes a day, then you're certainly safe. At 20 minutes a day, you're certainly not overdoing it. I think that I walk every day on average, like at least an hour. Like closer to 80 minutes, really. Some believe that's not that much. I think that it is. But it really depends what you do next to it. Can you recommend me a leg training to do at home without a rack? Currently, I only do plyometric, high intensity training and deadlift leg training. So you only train at home, right? Correct? Yeah, you want exercise for at home. Hold on a minute. For starters, I would say just do normal squats, right? Body weight squats, very simple. What you can also do is lunges, but instead that you do, you know, a whole lunge like this, right? That's what they typically do. I would say stay in this range, right? Hold on to something, that's probably the best. And then just bend like this, come up to this point, bend down, come up, bend down, come up, bend down, come up. And at the last rep, you let it hang to here. Make sure that there is a contraction in this part. You do not want to overextend your hip flexor, right? Make sure that there's a nice contraction here. Feel the burn, come up. And then you do the other leg. And same thing, right? Nice and slow. Again, last rep, you hold it. Sure that this is contracted, that this is not overextended. Otherwise you can damage your joints, or at least you can get joint pain. Come up and do that for 3 to 5 sets. That's what I really would recommend for the legs. And another one would be, this looks like a very simple exercise, but just kick your leg back like this, get some hamstring and glute activation. That's really like the most simple stuff that I can think of, but it is pretty effective. Like, you will definitely feel a burn if you do that controlled and you have good mind-muscle connection. If you're not feeling it, then you will have to work on your mind-muscle connection. But you most definitely will feel, especially the first exercise, like there's almost no way that you're not going to feel that. This is very effective. I'm an individual who into kickboxing, but I stopped because I had issue with scapula. I've done physiotherapy, but still sometimes pain in scapula. So how can I get a strong upper back, particular scapula? Wait, hold up. Any exercise for elbow and knee training? Well, there are no muscles in your elbows and knees, so what do you mean? Let's see, for the scapula. To ensure that I get it right. Yeah. You know, the thing is, how should I put it? I could give you advice, but the problem is that as long as I'm not 100% sure, or well, as long as I have not a good idea, that I don't have a good idea where the problem is coming from, where the pain is coming from, then my advice could potentially make your problem worse. So, you know, like, I can give you some advice, but definitely be careful with whatever you do. But I would say, yeah, do some, some trap exercises, do some lat work, also your chest. Just ensure that everything is being worked, equally, right? Sure that you're preventing muscle imbalances. That's really one thing you should ask your physiotherapist. Like, hey, is there something in this whole area that is weak, that is a weak point that I should focus on more, and that might actually, I'm not gonna say that it will solve the problem, but it might actually improve it. Maybe it will solve it, who knows? Really depends. But yeah, any exercise for elbow or knees. I don't know, is that a joke question? You cannot grow your elbows or knees. But you can grow them by doing heavy weight exercises, which will grow the bones, and that can usually at best make an inch difference. And in extreme situations, if you really manage to, yeah, like damage the bone over and over again, if you manage to damage the bone over and over again, like there's this one guy who he he uses this finger to puncture coconuts, and you can see that the finger that he used for that, he has broken that finger many times, but that is a really thick finger. Like you can tell that the bones in that finger have grown. So that is the way to grow bones. Thank you, sir. Shin training. Like this. Or like your chins. Is there actually demand for that now? Because I actually do know how to train your chins. Yeah, I mean, best thing you can do is just raise your toes like this, right? That's a good exercise for starters. Like, you mean this, right? This is what you're talking about. You're not talking about the shin on... You mean this? You mean this, your chin. Yeah, that one is easy, actually. The facial muscles. Probably could do a video on that, but that is really easy. I think actually for... Oh, okay, yeah, I gotcha. One of the easiest things you can do is if you have a pen. Yeah, no, wait, hold on. Just give me a minute. So this exercise, this actually works, unlike the stuff that Austin Dunham and what is his name? I don't know. Chad Maverick teach you. This actually works. So take a spoon, put it like this in your mouth, and raise it. Do that for a few minutes. Your chin is gonna burn like hell, and you are actually going to get a more square chin if you do that. You can't really, like, my chin held up pretty okay, but I have not been doing it for a few months. But like when you do that, yeah, you get a more square looking chin. When I really did it very seriously, like every day, like, yeah, like you're just gonna get a more square face. What's your first experience with Bulwark, and how did you know about this? Because this is typical equipment. You mean like not typical equipment? Like, yeah, right. Like only very few people know about it. So a friend of mine, he owned the Bodymaster, and that is a, you could say, a very cheap knockoff brand bullworker. It's made entirely out of plastic, and he had it laying around in his room. That guy, he is half German. His father is German, so he got it from his father. And as most people know, the bullworker is a German invention. So he happened to own one, and this was, I was 16 at the time. And then I asked my father about it, like, hey, do you know what this is? And then he immediately said, what you're describing is a bullworker. And I said, I love that thing. Like, is there any possibility to get it? And like the only way to get one at that point was to order it from Marktplaats, which is basically the Dutch equivalent of eBay. Best fitness channel here. Spread the word, man. Okay. Actually, I will do a video on that chin exercise because it is a really good one. My grandfather taught it to my father, and he taught it to me. Okay, I was still doing the traps. Okay. You know what? I'm totally gonna do a video on that chin exercise tomorrow. And maybe I can actually explain it a little bit better. I won't say that I will upload it tomorrow as well, but yeah. That is really knowledge that has to be shared. I have to adjust my camera the whole time. Let's see. The boxing video would really be something that I would have to get in shape for in the first place. say 9 viewers. Sir, why you choose to become vegan? So, when I first really started to look into nutrition, I figured out that I was very sensitive to gluten. Now, since recently I figured out that I can eat gluten without any problems as long as it's sour bread. But commercial breads, I cannot eat them. So I found out that I was very sensitive to gluten. And at that point, I started to develop an interest in nutrition. I started to see if there were other foods that I was sensitive to. And very early on, I figured out that I was responding poorly to dairy. And I also found out that I felt better limiting my animal food intake. And at that point, I became a flexitarian, someone who occasionally eats meat like 2 to 3 times a week. And I used that year to experiment to see what I would respond best to. And this is just my personal experience, just what I figured out, what worked best for me. What I found out was that I reacted negatively to almost every animal food, with exception to skinless and boneless chicken breast and any type of fish, shellfish included. Those were the only things that I could eat without getting any weird response. And this is just what's the case for me. I don't know how it is for others, but through that experience, I realized, okay, I might as well just see how this vegan thing goes. And there was, of course, like back then there was also like kind of a thing like I was convinced that it was better for the environment. Nowadays, I'm not 100% sure what the truth about that is. Like my knowledge on that is just a little bit outdated. But yeah, like just for health reasons alone, it made a lot more sense for me to go vegan. I guess maybe more optimal would have been if I would have still included fish. Who knows? Let's see, what would in your mind be the most underrated exercise? Most overrated. I think the idea of using I think what is really overrated is the idea that you need to lift heavy to grow muscle, or you need to lift heavy weights to get fitness goals. And that is what I find to be truly overrated. I also think that dumbbells and barbells in general, compared to these niche fitness devices such as the Bull Worker, those things are also overrated, and people have a very poor understanding in general as to why these things work and why they wouldn't work. Why they supposedly wouldn't work. Like the explanations given, for example, why people think that the Bull Worker wouldn't work for growing muscles. It is, not very convincing when you really start thinking about it. When it really comes to underrated, I guess I could say like the Bull Worker, but that is such a typical answer. Like an underrated exercise. We're just going to talk about free weights machines. I think it's pretty important to train your thighs, these, and your glutes. I think that those are kind of underrated. I personally believe you can become great vlogger, daily video, you have good comment with every topic. Well, you know, you might feel that way. And maybe that is the case, but currently this live stream only has 9 viewers, so there's just not enough demand for it. But I am working on a channel, my shiz bro, and I am planning to upload a little bit more regularly there and just do yeah, kind of talk about whatever I feel like. Good. You can train for boxing, so you can make a video. You can start tomorrow. You will get in great shape cardio. I'm currently doing a little bit of cardio. I am running, jogging 3-4 times a week. Currently 2 times a week, actually. Okay. Let's see what I'm gonna do. Maybe a little bit the apps. Yeah, I was going to go for 2 hours. Let's see, got plenty of battery life left. And then tomorrow probably the legs and the arms. Well, should I do the legs now? I actually never do legs during these live streams. It's kind of makes for a really weird angle. Oh man, I don't know what to train. Guess I could train arms. I could. Should I? I don't know. Maybe just a little bit. I don't think I would lose subscribers necessarily from vlogging daily, but yeah, I'd rather use this channel for professional production, if you want to call it professional. So few viewers. Not that it bothers me, but it is what it is. Because it's been a long time and you are still trying, that's the good approach. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while now. You know, the thing is, if I would only focus on instructional videos, then this channel would probably see more growth. Which maybe is the thing that I should be doing. We will see. I am planning to do more instructional videos, especially in 2021. If I had the confidence, I would make videos, but I never want to be famous. I like a quiet life. I don't have a lot of money, just enough to survive. Yeah, it's certainly not for everyone to do this. I don't suspect that I will get famous by doing this anytime soon, but I don't know, I always like to make entertaining content, to make people laugh, make comedy, give instructional videos. That's what I always like doing, so that's why I'm doing this. You know, more as like a hobby than anything else. Like, at the moment, YouTube is not exactly making me a lot of money. It's making me some, like, you know, like it would be enough to cover some of the bills, say it that way. But definitely not enough to have a good living. But I gotta say that one thing I like doing about these live streams is that it actually makes me better at talking to the camera. Because we have to talk so much in the English language that I just get used to it. Are you able to maintain this physique throughout the year? I've not actually done a video on it yet, but I had not worked out for over 5 months, and I actually looked pretty good. It's now that I've been working out for 3 weeks that I'm now looking like this, and I'm definitely like more pumped up right now than 3 weeks ago. But yeah, I looked still like, if you, how would you call it, swole-ish 3 weeks ago. So, and that's after not having been working out for a long time. When did you decide to start your YouTube channel and why? Man, what was the reason? Elm's arms, bro. What was the reason? Specific reason to start YouTube? I'm not sure. I think. Wait, I'm getting a notification. Nothing to worry about though. Let me do a set. I think at first I just really wanted to be a fitness channel who gave out fitness content. That's why I started with the Bullworker. And then as time went on, I became more interested in providing a aspect to my videos. And once I had been doing YouTube for a year, I was deep into the idea of nutrition. Beforehand, I had never taken it that seriously. But at that point, I did start taking it very seriously. And yeah, I don't know, I just really wanted to share my knowledge. Did your girlfriend message you? No, nothing like that. Nothing interesting. No juicy details. Do you prefer any book for nutrition? Any book like when it comes to vegan nutrition? What's his name? Furman? Doc Furman? That is pretty much one of the only vegan nutritionists who gives out advice that is balanced, which includes a healthy amount of fats, which is something that I'm very big on. Almost any other nutritionist in the, like, you know, who makes nutrition books on veganism, almost all of them, they promote really extreme versions of the diet. So in that sense, there's very little to recommend. I think you're really better off following like a junk food vegan bodybuilder than you would be following, you know, a so-called Dr. Greger, for example. And when it, like, you know, those diets, who knows, maybe they're really effective for preventing heart disease, I'm not sure. I really kind of have my doubts about it, really. But all in all, Well, I would say it's definitely better for preventing heart disease than the average diet. That is one thing that's almost 100% for sure. But a lot of it is just very misleading. Most nutrition books, that is. Do you want to be famous? Yes and no. Being famous definitely has a lot of downsides, but it also comes with a lot of perks. In a sense, you really cannot live a normal life if you're really famous. But being famous, depending on what type of famous you are, you know, it does come with a certain status that usually money alone cannot get you. Well, not by itself. Or you must have a lot of money. A YouTube channel who I think promotes a lot of interesting ideas about vegan nutrition would be like a lot of people don't like this guy because I'm not 100% sure. I've never really followed him on this. Apparently, he's a white supremacist. I don't know. His advice on diet is very sound, though. Corey McCarty. Will you always stay lean or bulk sometime in the future? Man, I wish I could bulk. This is about as fat as I will get. I can maybe gain like a few more pounds of fat and that's it. It's just in my genetics. Like in the past 3 generations, all guys have been, yeah, really lean. People in my family have an easier time to gain muscle than to gain fat. Porridge is best for heart. How many countries have you been till the date? Let me count. The Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Luxembourg, what is it? Ostrich? Oostenrijk. Not sure. Italy. Have I said France yet? France. Catalonia. Spain. Oh yeah, I've passed Sweden on the way to Italy. Those are the countries that I've been to. Do you miss having a bacon sandwich or a cheeseburger? Actually, no, I do not. But the one, like the things that I probably would say that I miss would be KFC and spare ribs, and the rest I don't know. I have not really cared that much for it. Weird, isn't it? Like a lot of people are like, oh man, you're gonna miss red meat. You're gonna miss a big juicy steak, and that's like the one thing that I absolutely don't care for. I just don't care for red meat. I think that almost any other type of meat is tastier than steak. Call me crazy. Like I think chicken is tastier than steak. I think rabbit is tastier than steak. I think duck is tastier than steak. Okay, bacon is tastier than steak, sure. But then I would still prefer like spare ribs. And yeah, like I think almost anything is tastier than a big juicy steak. What's your opinion about the Indian people? I have a lot of viewers from India. I don't know. I do not necessarily have an opinion on them. Not any more so than really viewers from any other part of the country, from the world. I never am inclined that much to judge people as a population. I'm more inclined to judge them as individuals. Do you feel much better being vegan? A lot better. Red Burger like in Demolition Man. 6, 7 viewers. So few viewers. Yeah, like all the issues I had before veganism, like, you know, I used to have a lot of brain fog, I used to have a lot of stomach pains, I used to have like stinging pains in my gallbladder, I used to have joint pains, I used to, man, like even some heart issues. Oh yeah, frequent headaches was a big one. Diarrhea. Uh, Let me think. Energy problems. Energy problems, like a lot of like lethargy. Like yeah, brain fog, like I already named brain fog. All of those things, just oh yeah, like problems with handling the cold. Was usually a very cold person. I burned easily, and all that cleared up since going vegan. I wouldn't say that I have. Oh yeah, also like excessive sweatiness and actually sweat that really stank. So really like bad body odor. Nowadays, I barely have a smell, and actually like you know, I'm not one of those hippie vegans that doesn't shower, but you know, smell has really like normalized. So yeah, all of that has cleared up since going vegan, and I wouldn't say that I have like perfect health, but it is like an insane difference compared to what it was. You should have more views. Well, the best thing that you can do to help me to get more views is to share these videos. I mean, that's really um, that's really pretty much the only way that this channel can grow in the first place. Or well, like it's one of the. What's your advice to young people? I'm pretty young. I'm not even 26 yet. Maybe I look a lot older. I don't know. Like since the age that I was like 16, people thought that I looked like I was 18. So who knows? Maybe I look a little bit older than I am. Yeah, advice to like really young people. Man, on one hand I got nothing. On the other hand, I would say there's so much to think about. I don't know. I'm when it really comes to like philosophical advice, I'm a pretty young person, and maybe in a sense still pretty inexperienced in a lot of ways when it comes to life. So like I could give advice, but perhaps it would be wrong advice. You know, stay away from drugs. My advice. You know, a joint can't hurt. But yeah, you know, that's actually kind of a thing to definitely do not. Uh, yeah, actually, that is kind of a good one. Definitely do not touch booze or weed before the age of, I would say, at least 20. I think 21 is a little bit high, but like what they have in America. But yeah, I think that it would have been better for me if I had not touched weed at all until the age of 20. That would have been better for my development. So it's not that I'm like really strictly against it or people trying it or doing it before that age, but I think that that is just better for overall development. Will you ever say why you wear hats? This is part of the Dutch frat boy aesthetic. What is your biggest fear? Oh man, now we're gonna go deep. Now we're gonna get now we're becoming really personal. The biggest fear. Yeah, I was doing a workout. I'm losing my pump, damn it. It's a downside of doing these live streams. Well, in a sense, I would say that the biggest fear, my biggest fear, like for many people, I would say that it's dying, but I guess the real biggest fear would be to not live. There you have your wisdom for the young kids, for the young people. It's fine, I'm a YouTuber, I'm used to it. Yeah, it's not so, like it's not that I am like really thinking about dying or really worrying about it, but like yeah, if I had to think about something, yeah, probably dying is something that we all get confronted about from time to time. It's probably yeah the one thing that when it comes to it, like that's the thing that most people worry about. Like you want to live, right? Have a good life. That's the most important thing, right? The biggest fear should be, yeah, like I said, not living. That should be the biggest fear. Have fun, you know. Like really, another good example. Really, like good advice for young people is work as much on your development as possible. Okay. And don't try to focus too much on finding love. Don't try to focus too much on, you know, paying the bills, getting a job as soon as possible, getting your own like getting a wife, getting a car, like those things are really fun. But there's plenty of time to ensure all that. Focus as much on your own development. Ensure that you make the most out of your life, and don't the thing is like when you get a girlfriend, when you when you're stuck, or when you like when you're stuck in the system, you're stuck in the system, there's no getting out. Well, maybe there is, but it is the case for very few people. Let's see. Be loving and caring to others. Don't judge people. My advice. That's also good advice. I would say never judge a group, never judge a collective. Always judge the individual. Always be willing to get to know people. Always be open and kind as much as possible. Don't take, don't take whatever is thrown at you too serious. From people, that is. From collectives. Yeah. Just be a good person, but don't let your kindness become something that people can abuse. That's also a thing to think about. Do you feel that doing high reps push-ups becomes more of a cardio and less of a strength workout? It is not really much of a strength workout, as that it is but fizzy water. It is really good for conditioning the muscles. So it is, it works for cardio, but it is definitely better for like conditioning the muscles. It also pumps up the muscles. So that's those are the biggest benefits to doing high repetitions push-ups. Do you do full body workouts, more bro splits? I try to do as much as full body workouts as possible. Typically, I do not get get a full body workout done when I'm doing these live streams, but that is what I am. That's what I'm trying to aim for as much as possible. Your words changed my perception. Thanks. Yeah, and another advice is always keep an open mind. Like, what I'm giving is just an opinion. It is just a perception. You know, for all I know, my perception could be wrong in some ways. Let's see. Now I might as well just keep streaming till 2 hours. There's not much sense in doing another set. Guess I will do a few sets after the live stream. You have a great channel here. Thanks. It's actually becoming a little bit chilly. Let's see where to put my shirt. Here it is. What's the temperature outside? I don't know, like 2 degrees Celsius maybe. It's pretty chilly, I can tell you that much. Are you in lockdown there? It doesn't really feel that much like a lockdown here. Technically we are in a lockdown, I guess. It's mandatory now since like a week to wear a mask when you enter a store. Like when you're out on the street, you don't have to wear it. When you go to the market, for example, you don't have to wear a mask at all. So in most situations, yeah, things still feel pretty normal. I guess one thing that has really affected, it has kind of affected my social life in a sense, in that there aren't as much party opportunities, aren't as much opportunities to go out. Like, other than that, still feels pretty normal. I don't know. I guess in a sense I don't try to stress too much about it. How cold does it get there and how hot in the Netherlands? It really depends from year to year. I mean, there have been years that it was minus 20 degrees Celsius. Wait, is that correct? Yeah, I know that there was a year that it was extremely cold and I was like 16 years of age, something like that. We actually had like snow this high, like up to the knees. And most years there's actually no snow at all. So that was a pretty special year, I guess. But yeah, it can like be as cold as minus 20 degrees Celsius. But on average, I would say like when it on an average year, when it gets like minus 7 degrees Celsius, that is really cold here. And that's about as cold as it gets here. And like it gets as hot here in the Netherlands. Usually only for a few days. It might get we might get to temperatures between 35 and 40 degrees Celsius. And that's usually a few days in July, or like a few weeks. What do you do for a living? Is this like the second time you asked that? I sell pet rocks. Google it. Hope you and your family members are good. Take care. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Same to you. I don't have social media. I deleted it. I didn't like it. I like when there was no social media, but YouTube is good. Yeah, YouTube is kind of social media, especially when you're vlogging like I do. Can I have a pet rock from you? Show me. I don't do online. I don't have an online store. I sell them out on the street. Why you are not so active on Instagram? I am somewhat active on my personal Instagram, and the other one I'm thinking about becoming more active. But yeah, I don't know. There's not that much animo for it. Don't know. I can try it. Can see where it goes if I become a little bit more serious about social media. Who knows? Actually, social media is, of course, a very important part of it all. Wait, did I just get a... No. Maybe I should start an online store. Maybe I can sell pet rocks online, but that would be pretty expensive actually. They're quite heavy. Does it get dark there early? Nah, at the moment, yeah. Like at 5 p.m. it's dark. Actually, earlier already. Let's see. Technically, I could stream till 9 p.m., but I'm not gonna do that. I think I might do another stream on... No, not on Christmas. Cannot do a stream on Christmas, then I have to go to the family. Also not on New Year's. Definitely, like last year, a special live stream the day before my birthday. That's what I did last year. Let's see. I think we're almost out of questions. Can you do shadow boxing? No, I'm not in shape. Or well, I'm in shape, but I'm not in shape to shadow box or to really do much of anything regarding martial arts. No, I'm not even gonna attend it. It would look really stupid, I'm sure. I'm just way out of the rhythm. They do virtual pets on YouTube. Well, like to Oculus Rift or something like that. For that reason, it might actually be interesting to get. That would be pretty cool. Virtual reality goggles to do something like that with YouTube. But I would probably do that on my vlogging channel if I had the opportunity to do so. Let's see. I'm going to go for 3 more minutes. Yeah, and then I'm gonna close off. Unless no one has any questions anymore. I've used before it's run. Yes, I can. What is your name? Most people just call me at. ED. Man, where to do a handstand? Hold on. Yeah, like Ed Sheeran. Exactly. It's a really short handstand. Do you like beer? No, I hate it. So just don't think it's tasty. I do like wine. Certain wine, not even all wine. Yeah, you know, the thing is, there isn't enough room here to do a proper handstand. Otherwise, I could do a proper one. I can also do a cartwheel, and I have briefly trained for some other things as well. England, yeah, England is cool. It's definitely a country that I want to visit someday. Actually have gotten a few invites to London from people who live there. So probably got plenty of opportunity to stay there as it is. But yeah, like the alcohol question. Yeah, I hate beer. I like certain types of wine. Don't like champagne. Yeah, some champagne. Some champagne is good. I like strong alcohol. I drink it pure. I don't mix it. I don't mix strong alcohol. Like Jägermeister. What is it? Jack Daniels. What is that? Whiskey. Yeah, whiskey. Good whiskey. Red Label. That's good stuff. Club 43. Those things are all pretty good. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, like there are a few people who want to meet me in London anyway, so who knows? I'm like, if I am going to England, London is probably the place I will go. So I think there are actually enough people that want. I don't know why, but there are actually like a few people who want to meet me there. I don't know why I'm so many people in London specifically, but it's just what it is. I could even like do a meetup there. Not sure how many people would turn up, but you never know. Okay, well, yeah. Let's see if I've missed anything. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, come to London, why not? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I will definitely like come to London one day. At least that's the plan. Like, since I do want to see more parts of the world, like London would definitely be an interesting choice. When will I go? I do not know. Probably not now. I am planning to go to the Canary Islands this January. So, at least not in January. I don't know why it's a little difficult to understand the British accents than the one you're talking in. Is it? Like, is my English more understandable than the typical British accent? Well, that's a pretty cool compliment to get. Especially since this is not my, my language of birth. I think that much was obvious. Hmm? What do you mean? Woo me? What? Yeah, mine is more like, yeah, I assume so. I do like the British accent. If I had a choice, if I had a choice, I would definitely adopt a more British accent. I think it sounds awesome. Sounds very classy. Really mixes with the frat boy Dutch look. Yeah, no, I love it. I like. I don't know if it ever like is obvious in when I speak English, but like when I speak Dutch, I kind of sound like an when it comes to like vocabulary, like the way that I speak, the way that I phrase my sentences, I almost sound like an old man or like an older man. And I don't know if that's so obvious when I talk in English, but yeah, I don't know. Like a British accent would be more fitting in that sense. Do you believe in God? Uh, I don't know. I think that it could be a possibility, but it is not something that I really spend a lot of time thinking about. It's just not something that yeah, that I focus on. There's a lot of different speaking in London. They have slang and Cockney. I love it. Yeah, I really need to learn British. Well, just like in like a time of a year or so, I will just completely revamp my whole presentation on this channel. I will just start talking British, completely different accent. Uh, this is probably the last stream I will do till the 3rd of January. Or I should suddenly get a lot of subscribers and hit 5,000 very soon. Who knows? It's kind of unlikely. Don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna close off. What you saying, my G? Is that typical American? They speak like this. They got a lot of accents too, right? It just really depends on the region where you're coming from. I don't know what my accent is closest to. Like it's definitely not like British my accent, but it's I don't know in what state like my accent would be from. It has been compared to a few states. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining this live stream. It was a lot of fun, despite that so few people joined. Uh, it was a very active one. So yeah, the next one will probably be the 3rd of January. So if you are interested, then be sure to mark that in your agenda. Again, everyone, yeah, thanks for joining. Have a nice day, everyone, and happy holidays. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna end now. Thank you for your channel. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the support.